National News with Lisa Laflamme.
Good evening. Uncomfortable allegations consume the lion's share of this newscast tonight. It's become the indelible mark on our times. An international show of hands calling out alleged sexual predators. Men said to be abusing positions of power against an avalanche of women and girls. Tonight, in an exclusive report, 2 women have come forward accusing the leader of Ontario's Progressive Conservative Party, Patrick Brown, of sexual misconduct. Brown, a former federal MP, is currently campaigning for the job of Ontario Premier. Brown categorically denied these claims late tonight. The women were both teenagers at the time of the alleged abuse, and neither wanted their faces on camera. CTV's senior political correspondent Glenn McGregor has the details and a warning: some of the language is very graphic.
Patrick Brown! Patrick Brown is a young conservative and an ascending star in the Canadian political universe. But tonight, there are disturbing allegations against Brown by 2 women who spoke to CTV News. His lawyer tonight responded, saying Mr. Brown categorically denies these false and defamatory allegations. One still in high school when, she says, Brown asked her for a sex act.
He pulled down his pants and said, I don't know if he said suck my dick or put this in your mouth, but something along those lines.
The incident occurred over 10 years ago when Brown was a well-known politician in Barrie, Ontario. The high school student met him in a bar with a mutual friend when she was under Ontario's legal drinking age. Brown, who she says wasn't drinking, invited them both back to his home. She was drunk. He offered her a tour of the house.
When we got to his room, he kind of shut the door on me and started making some moves. Probably like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I was like kind of came to like frantic, like, okay, you need to let me out, I'm leaving. Like it was like a controlling thing.
Another woman came forward with a similar story about Brown, then a federal MP in the Harper government. She met Brown on an Air Canada flight in 2012. She was 18 and in first-year university. Later that night, he looked her up on Facebook and sent her a message. Are you impressed I remembered your name? I am, LOL, he wrote. He gave her phone number and the names of Barrie bars that he'd be at that night. If you ever need to skip a line in downtown Barrie, just text me.
And I laughed it off as, you know, an older man kind of hitting on me a little bit.
The following year, though, she reached out to Brown and asked him for a summer job. He hired her to work in his constituency office, assigning her the task of organizing a Hockey Night in Barrie charity game that he hosts annually. At an after-party in a local nightclub, the woman, then legal age, says Brown and others provided her with a string of free drinks.
It was too many to count.
When the bar closed, the party moved to Brown's home, all captured on social media. The woman says she was drunk by the time Brown, who again wasn't drinking, invited her and a male friend of his to his bedroom to look at photographs. The friend left, leaving her and Brown sitting on the bed.
That scenario, like of a very inebriated young employee in the bedroom of her boss alone with him, who hasn't had a drop of alcohol all night, just that's an intimidating situation, and I was not sure what to do about it. The next thing I know, he's kissing me, sitting beside me, kissing me, and then I kind of just froze up. He continued to kiss me, and he laid me down on the bed and got on top of me. And I remember consciously trying to not move my mouth, and I was just not moving. So I was lying there immobile, and he kept kissing me. I could feel his erection on my legs when he was on top of me. So I felt that, you know, it would have gone to sexual intercourse if I had not done anything. I told him, you know, listen, I have a boyfriend, which I did at the time, and you need to take me home. And I think that's all I said to him. And he did. He drove me home to my parents' house. I would characterize that as a sexual assault.
Brown often travels to India, and after the party, the woman says he pressed her to join him as his assistant on an India trip, promising all expenses would be paid. And he also gave her a raise.
He thought that I would look good on an elephant. I remember thinking, well, would I have my own hotel room? Like, I remember thinking, is there some sort of expectation?
CTV News has spoken to 4 people close to her, including her father, who confirmed she recounted the incident with Brown in the following months. She chose to return to work for Brown the next summer.
The reason that I kept working there was I wanted to, in some way, try and, despite the fact that this had happened, I didn't want to let that impede what I saw then as a career opportunity.
She's speaking out now, she says, to support other women in similar situations with an employer.
And I don't think that any woman, young or old, should be subjected to that and put in a situation where they have to decide between the career opportunity that's in front of them and taking themselves out of a situation that's at best uncomfortable and at worst unsafe. I didn't think that there was any sort of recourse that I could take, because I did think, this is something that in maybe another job I would go to maybe HR about, but I didn't even know who HR was in this context.
I think he's just a sad human being. Because he's single, I don't know, he's old single politician preying on young girls, he's just a sad person.
Lisa, neither of these women ever filed a complaint. Patrick Brown denies the allegations, and they have not been proven in court. But they are serious allegations, and as the Ontario election approaches, he will likely be called on to give a more detailed account of what, if anything, happened with these young women.
All right, Glennon, there's been rapid-fire developments tonight. Patrick Brown held a hastily called news conference on the allegations at the legislature.
I want to say these allegations are false, categorically untrue, every one of them. I will defend myself as hard as I can with all means at my disposal. It's never okay for anyone to feel they've been a victim of sexual harassment or feel threatened in any way. Let me make this clear. A safe and respectful society is what we expect and deserve.
Following that comment, 5 key people resigned late tonight, including Brown's campaign manager, chief of staff, deputy campaign manager, and press secretary. They all quit. In a statement, they said they learned of the allegations today and had urged Brown to step down. And on our website, online politics producer Rachel Aiello, who has also done an enormous amount of reporting on this story, has a written account detailing the full accusations from the 2 women, plus the statement from Patrick Brown denying the allegations. That is all at ctvnews.ca. And the progressive conservative leader in Nova Scotia was forced to resign this morning over allegations of inappropriate behavior. Jamie Bailey was the provincial Tory leader for 8 years, but the party launched an investigation after a person came forward with the claims last month. It concluded Bailey had breached the legislature's workplace harassment policy. No further details were released. From